Now, I happen to somewhat
Now everybody scream enough respect to the X. Enough respect given.
So, this week, a few things happened. Let's start with something that came out of left field, at least to me. Apple announced a new Apple Pencil. Nothing crazy, just a new Apple Pencil with USB-C built into the side. There's a little sliding mechanism which allows the pen to plug into your USB-C cable. This is all because Apple now is using USB-C with their phones and pretty much all their devices. So they have to start to switch over all of the peripherals and accessories to USB-C. Now, the pencil itself is unique in the fact that it actually costs less than the prior pencils before it. I think those were $100 and $129 for the 1 and the 2 respectively. This new one comes in at $79, undercutting the first two by what, 40 to 50 bucks easy. Now, this price isn't without its caveats. Of course, it's USB-C, but you also lose certain features that were available on the previous two. One of them was the ability for the phone to charge when docked on an iPad. Now, I don't know exactly which iPads could do it. I know from what I've read, some didn't do it well. I think the Pros could, and maybe the Air. And I'm pretty sure that the Pro, because I have an iPad Pro, one of the earlier models, and I did have a Apple Pencil 2 till the kids lost it. But and it, when docked, it did charge. So this one doesn't have that ability at all. No wireless charging via docking mechanism on iPads. It also doesn't have the pressure sensitivity. So if you are a professional artist of any sort, or even dabble in drawing on your iPad, the ability to push down on the pencil to make the lines lighter or darker to to fit the drawing that you're doing is no longer there. This thing just goes on the iPad and draws a line. No matter how hard or light you push, it will not change how dark or light or wide or thin the lines are, depending on the pressure you put onto it. The last thing that it can no longer do is on the double tap. Now, I know there were a few options with the double tap. You were able to select what you want it to do when used with an iPad. Double tap is no longer there. So it really is just a very simplistic Apple stylus. But the thing is, because of the new lower price tag, it is on par with other styli that can be used with your iPad as well. Now, Apple has lowered the price of their own Apple Pencil and is now in the running to be an actual contender when it comes to parents and or teachers or schools buying these Apple or these stylus devices for their students to use on iPads. So good for them, good for us. So at my local Best Buy, they are having a MetaQuest 3 demonstration pretty much every weekend. Again, the holidays are coming up and they want to drum up that interest in the device. So here is my genuine reaction to finally getting to use this device. Now I'm in store, and I do have the MetaQuest headset to play around with. This is the adjustable strap to better fit your head. There we go. Strap has been adjusted. Just throw it on the head. It's a bit loose now. It's a bit too loose. But the pass-through is working fine. You pull the back pieces apart and it gets nice and tight. And it's funny, you note how I'm adjusting my phone to better record me, because the pass-through is so clear I can easily see what the phone is seeing. Even that crazy glare that just came because of that light. Okay. Oh. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Look how the metal shines. Go. Wow. Yeah. I had to come back to the real world for a minute. Wow. And I'm not even just doing that for y'all. This is great. You know what? I read about it, and you hear them talk about, the shading and the lighting. Wow. It's tracking me, not just walking, but actually crossing. I hate this thing. Okay. So yeah, the MetaQuest 3 is really impressive. I've seen some other videos. Some people were able to do their pass-through and show us it using a virtual desktop with multiple screens for work. And I really can see how that could be useful. You have your desk set up, but you don't want the bulk that comes with having a large screen when you're trying to get things done. All you need to do is put a keyboard on the desk and the headset, throw it on, and you're in an office. And the amazing thing is, the pass-through is so good, you can be in that virtual workspace and still see into the real world just fine. So if you haven't had a chance to see it, check your local Best Buy. They probably have the demonstrations going as well, and get a chance to look into the metaverse. And if it's something you like, they are readily available to purchase, and it just might be a game changer for what you do. Also out of left field, LG had some new devices out on display at Best Buy that I had no idea even existed. Here we have a new monitor from LG OLED Flex. All I can say from looking at it is this thing looks great. It moves great. The colors are accurate, bright, precise. And the screen can flex upon the push of a button. Now that is an interesting design and use for a flexible screen. It's amazing that something like this didn't occur to me from before. Do you really need something like that? Definitely not. But it is cool as hell. You press it and you can adjust the curvature of the display. So you're not just stuck with a flexible or a curved screen like I have on my monitor at home, but you go from flat to curved to suit your gaming or just your viewing needs. And has dual screen built in, or dual feeds built in, game optimizer built in. That is interesting. LG has really won me over this time around. Wow. Here we have the LG Stand By Me. Now, if you don't get the significance of that name, you may just be too young to fully appreciate what it is. Apparently, based on this video, it's a mobile video stand that you can use to do pretty much anything you want. Easy to move, easy to access all of your favorite apps, and more than ready to be adjusted to any need you might have. It's pretty much just a monitor on a stand, but they make it seem so useful. And that was nice. You can attach your device to it to immediately cast whatever video or app from your phone to this stand. And this is why I love LG. Always have something unique. That's why I miss them and their mobile devices, because their phones were just as unique as this. Something so simple in execution, yet so broad in its appeal. I like it. So both these monitors are of interest to me. A, because the Flex reminds me of their old LG Flex phone with the curved display. The only difference is this one can transform and go from flat to curved on a whim. And the Stand By Me just has a really cool name. I can see how it can be used in a variety of situations. So of course, if you don't already have a stand with a tablet attached, it's a pretty good go-to item. So OnePlus had their OnePlus Open event this week. I know I posted a little video about it right after it was done, giving my opinions. So this will just be a recap of that in case you didn't see it, or you don't really want to sit down for a longer version of it. The event itself was boring. It's just facts. But aside from the presentation, the device itself is actually really good. The software is the most interesting feature of it. They call it Canvas OS, and the way it works is it moves 3 apps around your screen when it's unfolded. One or two of them full, and the third one off to the side. Now it's not off screen. You see a little bit of it on screen, like it's a virtual canvas, so to speak. You only have access to the physical one, but around the device itself is more space that you cannot actually see, but you can see where the app would be if there was an app to be there. And you can move them around and slide them around, shift from one to the other relatively easily from what I have seen. So yeah, that Canvas OS looks really, really good, and I really hope it comes to something else. The camera bump, from what I've seen, they say it's on par with the Pixel devices, if not better in some aspects. It's not the best camera on any phone, but it's one of the better cameras on foldable phones. So that is saying something, because the cameras on foldable phones have always been somewhat underwhelming when compared to their slab phone counterparts. The price is less than you would pay than a Pixel Fold or a Z Fold 5, but not by much. It's $100 less, but they do have many pre-order bonuses if you trade in this device or that device. If you trade in any device, broken or not, you get a minimum of an additional $200 off. And there's all kinds of other little deals and trade-ins, various discounts depending on where you work and where you bank. So there are ways to make this price more digestible if you really don't want to spend upwards of $1,500 for a dollar device. flaws with the device from what I've seen, and I did state this before. For all this device can do, for reasons unknown, no stylus support. If I'm going to pay that much for a device that has such a wide canvas that just screams write notes on me, why can't I write notes? The Pixel Fold can't do it. The Z Fold 5 can do it, but the Z Fold 5 costs more. So I don't know how these people think about these things, but yeah, that's a small thing. To some, to me, kind of big. But overall, OnePlus Open, very interesting device. I am glad there is a third foldable option in the US, and it's a very good one at that. So good on OnePlus, and I hope the device does well, because it can only get better from here. So the Google Pixel 8 came out. It's readily available to purchase at multiple outlets online. So if you have an interest in one, it is there. I got some hands-on time with it. I like to go to Manhattan, go to the Google store, and play around with their new devices, especially if it's something I'm not particularly concerned or interested in buying, but I just want to see and dabble with it and see if it does pique my interest, more so once I've played with it, as opposed to just reading about it and seeing it online. So I did go out there last week, and yeah, the phone's great. The phone is a pretty good device. I was actually surprised that it's the Pixel 8 is actually smaller than my Pixel 6a. I thought the 6a was one of the smallest Pixel devices announced, but this new high-end Pixel 8 is actually smaller than the 6a. And it's funny, I'm not really a slab phone guy. I use them, but there's certain things that I want. I want to be able to write and such, and I don't want it to be too big. And I have to admit, the Pixel 8 has really caught my attention. It really might be the slab phone that I get to replace my 6A. They have these trade-in bundles and all of that. Because as much as I do enjoy using my 6A, I have been using it more now since the Google 14 update came out, to try to see what that's like and get used to that. And so far, it's actually pretty good. But my 6A doesn't have a lot of the features that the 8 has, and a lot of those features are actually really, really, really useful from what I've seen. So I do like the direction Google is going with this new line of Pixel devices. I've had my 6A for how long now, with really no intention of trading it in, because really there wasn't really anything that I considered good enough to replace it with until now. I also played with the Pixel 8 Pro. It's a larger device, and surprisingly, it doesn't, grab me as much as the regular 8 does, because I don't really want another large device. I have my S22 Ultra, and it does me great. Not even fine, it does me great. When I have to write something when the screen is off, I have the S Pen there. The camera is great. That zoom is wonderful. It connects with my Tab S8 Ultra, so when I want to edit, I can easily move files from one device to the other. So as far as large phones go, I'm good. But I like to use devices in conjunction with my Duo, and in that case, I want a smaller device which doesn't necessarily have all the physical features of the Duo. So there's little things I want the Duo to be able to do, and my other device to be able to do. The Duo doesn't have a good camera, so in my other pocket, as it is the case now, whether it be the iPhone or the Pixel 6a, that becomes the camera use and the quick scroll through social media use and the phone calls and everything else. When it gets time to do some work or something more extensive, I pull out the Surface Duo 2. And that is where I am when it comes to the Pixel 8. I think it would complement my Duo Tube wonderfully. The 6A is doing a good job, but like I said, there are certain things that the 6A simply doesn't have, especially with the new Tensor G3 chip and all of the new AI smarts that come with the Pixel 8, that I would love to have on hand, because I see how I can make use of most of them. And like I said, the Duo in the other pocket for everything else, I think it would be a wonderful combination. So I applaud Google for this new Pixel line, and it really might be my next slab device. Now, this is something I never actually talk about on my channel, my love for cars. But of the few cars that really catch my interest, the Tesla Cybertruck is probably the #1 vehicle that I would personally try to get day one if it was at all possible now. We've been waiting a few years for this truck to come out, and apparently end of November they will finally begin to give the truck out to the public. Well, not give, it will be available. They're going to have a reveal on November 30th, and from what I have read, the first few trucks will be delivered to those first people that pre-ordered. How many years ago? How many will get it starting in November? Who knows? I've heard numbers as low as 5. I've heard numbers as high as 50. But the point is, the truck will finally be available. And if you are one of the lucky few who pre-ordered the truck those 3-4 years ago, one of the first ones, there's a good chance you will be one of those to finally get one. I did read that they're giving it out to the press first, to get the interest up. I mean, as far as I know, for those of us who have been waiting for this thing, the interest has been there for years. But no, there are many in the public that don't even know this truck exists. I have told friends and family about it, and they ask me, what is it? They say it's ugly. They think it's just a prototype, it'll never come out. So, if what I've encountered is anything resembling the rest of the populace when it comes to knowledge on the Cybertruck, then they have a lot of work to do to make this thing garner that much more attention. The price is not currently known. When it was first announced, they said it would start at $39,000. With inflation and everything else, I highly doubt that is the starting price now. I mean, if you look at the Ford F-150 Lightning, that truck did start at $39,000, and within a year jumped to $60,000 for the base, then dropped back down to $51,000 now for a base, or $49,000 to $51,000 for a base model of the Lightning. So it's easy to see that the Cybertruck, or it's easy enough to assume that the Cybertruck will start around the $40,000 to $50,000 mark if it goes the same way as the F-150 Lightning. But yeah, that's very exciting. I know I can't get one. I didn't even pre-order it back then, and as it stands right now, there have been over 1 million pre-orders for this truck since its announcement, because they never closed them. They just said people haphazardly pre-ordered this truck on a whim for the past 3-4 years. And all of that money, I assume, has gone into the development of this thing. So if you happen to get one, you are a very lucky individual, and I really can't wait to see these things on the road. That's my truck. That's the 2 trucks that I mentioned are the 2 trucks that I actually want: Cybertruck and Ford F-150 Lightning, as far as electric trucks go. So yeah, very excited about that, and I look forward to the reveal end of November to get all of the specs and the pricing and whatever else they might announce as well. Perhaps some new news on the Tesla Roadster, which was also announced when the Cybertruck was announced, and we've heard nothing of it since. So yeah, Tesla Cybertruck. I'm excited about that. With that said, my name is NG, the Neon X, and talking about what happened last week, this week, this is what I'm into.